complete control.
No shirt, no shoes, no dive.
Right. Learn it.
Complete Control Radio. What the hell is going on? I've got Daniel Dart hanging out in the studio, lead vocalist and a good friend from the band Time Again. You got a new record coming out on Hellcat. Second one on Hellcat. How the hell are you?
I'm great. Good.
What's it like being on Hellcat? I ask all the bands on Hellcat because honestly, Hellcat is like one of my all-time favorite labels. I love the logo. I love everything about the label. But what's it like being on it? Like, what's it like? Tim Armstrong, Chris LaSalle. I mean, making records with those guys. What's that like, Daniel?
To be honest, I don't really know.
What do you mean?
It hasn't sunk in yet.
It hasn't sunk. But this is the second record on Hellcat, and it still
hasn't sunk in yet.
Really? That's
No.
a trip.
But when it does, no, it's great. I don't know, but I get asked this question a lot, and I really, in my mind, I don't think it's ever clicked that I'm on Hellcat.
Yeah.
It's still kind of like, it reminds me of when you first started the show, and I covered your building with stickers.
I remember that.
You know, I was gonna do it on my way in here, actually, just as
You don't have to do
old
it anymore
memories.
because now actually you're a guest on
Yeah,
the show.
I am.
You know, you're on YouTube now. We're doing it live. It's all real on the radio.
Yep.
You know, the second record on Hellcat, name of it's called Darker Days. It's out February 19th, so that's right around the corner. You guys are going to be going out on the road. What are the plans with you guys for this summer?
We leave March 10th, and we're doing the whole U.S. and Canada till May, and then we go over to Europe and overseas, like Europe, UK, and hopefully Australia.
How is it going over the UK, Germany,
Awesome.
overseas? What's the vibe like over there for you guys? Are you enjoying going on tour
Yeah.
over there? A lot of different bands have different feelings about going to Europe. Food's different. Everything from sleeping in a squat to even, traveling in the van is different over there. Do you guys like going to Europe?
I think we like going to Europe. I think as long as we can play shows, we're happy.
As long as you're doing a gig every night, you're fine.
Yeah.
For people that have never heard of Time Again, I know that you guys are out on the road a lot, but, what are some of the influences if you were to turn someone on to Time Again? Like if someone said, hey, man, I want to go check your band out, but before I go, what did you guys grow up listening to? That's important to me. Like, what are the influences that you guys are all rolling?
Well, I grew up listening to 22 Jacks.
Of course.
I did, actually. I remember I used to drive this Volkswagen bus when I was
You're really
going
to go there right now.
I'm there.
Okay, here we go.
It's like we're heading on the avenue. And I went to my first punk show. It was a band named Limp, who I'm sure you remember.
I remember Limp from the Bay Area.
Lagwagon, No Use for a Name, and the opening band that night was the Ataris.
Totally remember. Chris Rowe. There you go.
And I went there, and I wasn't really into punk at the time. I just moved home from San Diego back to the Bay Area. And my friend was like, dude, I got this band. You're going to love them. And it was 22 Jacks.
Jeez.
I ended up stealing that CD from him.
Did you ever get to come and see us play?
I never did, no.
Oh, man.
I was bummed. And then you had a reunion tour, and I missed it.
Yeah, there you go. We'll do it again. We'll open up for Time Again.
I wish, man.
You're going to hook that up.
Any day.
There you go. When you say that you lived in San Diego and then you moved to the Bay Area and before you got into punk rock, because sometimes people forget that you're not just born into punk rock.
Yeah.
What kind of music were you listening to? What were you growing up listening to?
Growing up, I listened to a lot of, classical music, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you mean classic rock or classical?
Like Tchaikovsky and Bach.
Really?
Beethoven.
That's
Yeah.
a trip. I never would think that.
Then I grew up on, like Bo Diddley, Fats Domino, like what my dad listened to.
Okay.
But mostly a lot of classical, ambient music.
Yeah.
I
don't hear that in Time Again at all.
Neither do I. But no, I mean, I've always kind of, I don't know, I kind of like to space out always, So I guess, I grew up, not in a very musical family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What-
Kind of in my own world.
But you did say that your father, Fats Domino, some of the classics.
Yeah.
Did that kind of lay the groundwork for kind of what you were going to get into? You think down the road, rock and roll. I mean,
I
that's
don't know.
just rock and roll in
think
general.
just,
You can't get.
I remember when I went to that first show, I always felt like people were staring at me like I never fit in. I went to that first show, and I remember Limp was on stage, and I seen a guy crowd surfing. I had never been to a punk show. I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa! I'm like, how do you do that? Can I sign up on a list? I asked some big guy, I go,
Yeah.
where do you sign up to do that? And he looks at me and just grabbed me and threw me up on the crowd. Next thing I know, and from then on, I was hooked. I was like, man, this is the funnest I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
So it was kind of overnight infatuation.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, hey, I want to jump into some music right now. Hey, my guest tonight, I got Daniel Dart here from the band Time Again. They got a brand new record, Darker Days, coming out on Hellcat Records, February 19th. I'm going to play the second track off the record right now. This is Soon It Will Be on Complete Control Radio.